Hey, what's up, everybody? It's BDL44 coming at you with another video. So, what I want to do with this particular story was not give you any news until it was good or until it was the worst. That was my thinking. But I got what I wanted. Cedric Ceballos had COVID and it is gone. He rung the bell this morning on COVID. Well, you don't ring the bell on COVID, but you know what I mean. He is COVID free. It looked really bad. He said he was in the hospital for quite a while. I think he said ICU, but I'm not certain if that's accurate, so don't quote me on that. But it was looking bad for a number of days. He was in there for about 9 days, I think he said. It was looking horrible. Everybody, was just praying for him and hoping he would do well. I got the information maybe about 5 days ago. I just didn't want to make a video on it. I didn't want to give it life. Sometimes it's just like that, and I pick and choose when I want to do that. Sometimes I'm like that, sometimes I'm not. But with this particular story, I was like, you know what? Let me not. Let me wait until there's something really to tell. Because if I'm just getting on here and I'm having the COVID conversation, it's already been had. If I'm getting on here and I'm telling people to pray for Cedric Ceballos, they already are. I'm doing that. It's not really best to just give bad news. He's going to be COVID free soon. Let's let the people know about that. So that was what my intention was. For those who don't know, Cedric Ceballos is a basketball player, played for the Lakers, played for the Suns, won the dunk contest with blindfolds on. He's the infamous guy who did the dunk with the blindfold back in the 90s. One of the basketball players that was on the initial Laker team that I first started watching back in like 1994, 95. That was the first real Laker team that I followed. He was one of my favorite Lakers on the team, and I was very upset when we traded him. But I understood that the Lakers were going to be bringing in a player by the name of Robert Horry, who was just kind of in a situation where he just needed to leave right away. He had threw a towel in his coach's face, and it was time for him to move on. And the trade that they did was with the Lakers, sending Cedric Ceballos to Phoenix and ultimately getting us Big Shot Rob. But before he got there, Cedric Ceballos was a guy that we really rooted for, somebody who was one of our best players during that tenure. Eddie Jones, Nick Van Axel, Cedric Ceballos. Those were the names that came to mind first. And you had other guys as well that I remember as the late Sean Rooks was a guy on the back of the bench that I could not stand. I ain't gonna lie to you. I did not like watching Sean Rooks play, but we certainly miss him out there nevertheless. Of course, Jerome Kersey, rest in peace, was also on that team as well, man. So that was the Laker team I started watching, man. Anthony Peeler was on that squad. That was a big-time shooter for us. Sedale Threets was on that squad. Corey Blunt. Like, I remember that Laker team very well because that was the team that ultimately introduced me to all of the passion that I have for the NBA now. The landscape of the league, I was glancing around, seeing who had what, who we were playing against, that kind of thing. First Laker game I ever went to was against the Milwaukee Bucks with a Vin Baker on the squad. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Terrell Brandon might have been on the squad at that time. I don't know if he was there yet, but yeah, man. So when I look back on that era, it's real foggy, and I didn't have a whole lot of basketball IQ at 9 years old, so I didn't know what I was looking at, but I was in love with it. And we didn't have no Kobe yet. It wasn't no Shaq. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have no Phil Jackson, nothing like that. This was before then. This was a year before then. And Cedric Ceballos, Nick Van Axel, and Eddie Jones were the men. Those were the guys. That was our big three, and we ran with them. And, we were an okay team. We made the playoffs. We got knocked off by, Seattle. Get knocked off by, who we get knocked off back then? Utah? I don't remember. It's so far back in the day back there for me, but if I'm not mistaken, I think it was Seattle that knocked us off. And anyway, so, all in all, I just have a lot of fond memories about watching Cedric and the boys play. And when I got the news that he was suffering from COVID and it was looking negative, my initial thought was to just not necessarily come to the camera, not necessarily say, hey, Cedric, because I wasn't sure who remembered Cedric. A lot of people are modern fans, so they're not going to remember players that I rooted for when I was a kid like that. But I did want to come here and bring some good news to you guys when we found out he was healthy. So Cedric Ceballos, free of COVID, back ready to get his body back in. Hopefully join the coaching ranks as an assistant once again. I know he was dabbling a little bit in that kind of stuff before he got sick, if I'm not mistaken. To what degree, I'm not sure. If he has head coaching aspirations, assistant coach aspirations, I'm not knowledgeable. But what I do know is he's been close to the game since he left the game. and it's still going to contribute to it going forward because life is there for the man. He's not losing that to COVID, and we celebrate that here on this channel. So everybody who's going through COVID of any kind, anybody's going through cancer, anybody's going through any type of stuff like that, just know I'm rooting for you just the same way. I don't want to report no bad news on you, only good news on you too. So go ahead and do what you got to do to win your battle, and we'll be waiting for that news. So yeah, that's what I got. What I think I'll do today is try to continue the process of working on the individual teams, rosters that we've been doing for the last couple weeks here. So check out my videos, look at the past videos. Maybe you'll see your favorite team. If not, I expect to be able to get to each and every roster before the season, probably well before the season. So as things change, you can run some of what happened versus some of my predictions or whatever with the roster, and then see how well I did. That's what it's all about. Just another talking head here, ready to share what I know and discuss what I don't sometimes. But anyway, I thank y'all for watching, man. Shout out to the family of Cedric. Happy y'all still got good things going on, and look forward to seeing more life your way. My name is BDF44. Thank y'all for watching. I'm out.